of the Senate, distinguished Senator Ahmad, the Chief Whip of the Senate, other principal officers of the Senate, the Chairman, Senate Committee on Finance, the Chairman, Senate Committee on National Planning and Economic Affairs, very distinguished senators, members of the Committees on Finance and National Planning and Economic Affairs, the Honorable Minister of Finance, Budget and National Planning, the Honorable Minister of State, Budget and National Planning, very distinguished invited guests, particularly the head of government agencies present and represented, distinguished ladies and gentlemen of the press. I'm most pleased to welcome you all to this stakeholder interactive session on the 2021-2023 medium-term expenditure framework MTEF and fiscal strategy paper FSP ahead of preparations for the 2021 budget estimates. This interactive session should help stakeholders here to study the document after the Senate considered it at its sitting on Tuesday, 21st July 2020, and referred it to the Joint Committee on Finance and National Planning for further legislative scrutiny. We need to reckon that the 2021-2023 medium-term expenditure framework MTEF and fiscal strategy paper FSP are according to the provisions of the Fiscal Responsibility Act 2007, while this session is consistent with our operational procedure of engagement with necessary stakeholders. As a result, about 46 organizations, and the chairman said 50, so I retained his number, and agencies will take turns over the next 5 days to engage the Joint Committee on aspects of the document as a prelude to developing a watertight framework and paper. And we know that the MTEF determines to a very large extent what the budget estimates framework will look like. We understand that we are in dire times. The COVID-19 pandemic has dislocated plans, such that we now need to be much more prudent with our resources and be concerned with what we prioritize. We must aim to use scarce resources to achieve as much as possible. Our revenue generating and collecting agencies must strategize to perform efficiently and optimally. Dwindling revenues remain a major bane of execution of government projects and programs. And of course, we know that for a long time, at least from last year, revenues have been our major problem. And therefore, our agencies must be tasked to ensure that we get more effective and efficient in collection and generation. The Senate and indeed the National Assembly have been unwavering in the drive towards fulfilling our mandates, and we are determined to continue on this path, in line with our legislative agenda and the ultimate delivery of the proverbial dividends of democracy. Our charge to you as stakeholders is to join us in our determination by being patriotic in your submissions, remembering that we stand to gain more if we put nationhood over anything else. The Joint Committee has thought through the agenda and will require you to be forthcoming with facts so that we can come up with more informed decisions. We need the budget to guide us in the coming year, but we will base this on meaningful inputs. I'm confident we'll get nothing less from you, and I'm therefore pleased to welcome you all to this session. By way of digression, I think there's no gainsaying that we need a lot more resources because we have more challenges. Unfortunately for us, our major source of revenue, the oil and gas, is facing some challenges. Thank God, our consolation is the price of crude is gradually increasing, and we hope that this increase will continue to the next year and beyond. But one fact remains clear, that today, because we have very scarce resources, we borrow in order to build our infrastructure deficit. This is one very important aspect of governance that we have to address adequately. This administration has shown willingness and indeed the capacity to provide infrastructure across the country. But this administration is also challenged by the paucity of funds. Consequently, we have to borrow. I think the time has come for us as an administration to start to think of other sources and means of funding our infrastructure. Definitely the deficits of infrastructure is so much. But then we have to be a little bit more liberal and elaborate in terms of looking for sources of funding. I think the time has come for us to look into the private public sector, public partnerships and BOTs. This is inevitable. So it's for us, both in the legislature and the executive, to sit down and work out what we think will be an attractive sort of proposals to attract those who have resources in the private sector to come and invest. We can get people, business concerns, who will be interested in building our roads. Why can't we give them the opportunity to do so? But only on favorable terms and conditions. But it is inevitable that we have to look for ways and means of ensuring that we bring in private sector investments into building our infrastructure. On this note, it is my pleasure to declare this interactive session open to the glory of God. God bless you all. God bless the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
Republic of Nigeria, Chairman, National Assembly, Distinguished Senator Ahmad Lawan.